Assalamu alaikum students. Now we are going to start unit 6 of Oxford Progressive English class 5. Open your books at page 28. Come to question 3rd. Okay, you have to read and circle the correct words. Here two options are given and we have to select the proper one. When trains 5 days a week for the triathlon, so he needs to eat carefully. He drinks a lot of or much water. Here two choices are given and we have to opt the proper one. The proper one is he drinks a lot of water but very little tea. He eats many vegetables but very little chocolate. He doesn't watch much TV, usually only after training. When he's training very hard these days, so he doesn't have much free time. Today he is cooking fried rice. This gives him a lot of energy for his training. Now come to page 30. Interview. It is interview with Van Boyle, an Australian triathlete. Triathlete is a person who swims, runs and cycles, and you have to circle the subjects that he talks about. I have already circled the subjects which he talked and these are distance, equipment, training, advice and studies. I'm going to read the text first. Reporter. How long have you been a triathlete? Van Boyle. I took up the triathlon 2 years ago, so I am still improving. Reporter. Is the triathlon hard to learn? Triathlon is actually contest which comprises on swimming, running and cycling. When you have to be very fit, but if you keep on practicing, you will find the 3 sports become easier and easier. Reporter. What is your training program? When I do 2 hours training each day, 6 days a week, I practice swimming, cycling, running and I also do fitness exercises. It is quite hard work. Reporter. What are the triathlon distance like? When there are different distances for different triathlon events, I am competing at the senior youth level because I'm still 14, so we swim 200 meters, we cycle 12 kilometers and we run 3 kilometers. Reporter. That's far enough. How many prizes have you won so far? When I came 3rd in the Sydney Schools Championship in my first year and I was runner-up last year. This year I want to win. Well, it is an interview from Van Boyle, who is an Australian triathlete. As I've already told, a triathlete is a sportsman who swims, runs and cycles. A reporter interviews him on his scale. He tells that he practices 2 hours daily for 6 days as he is competing at the junior level. And he is 14 years, so he swims 200 meters, cycles 12 kilometers and runs 3 kilometers. He wants to win Sydney School Championship this year. Now again come to the text. Okay, what advice would you give to the other young people who want to do the triathlon? When I would tell them to start with swimming. If they can't swim well, they will never do well in the triathlon. Reporter. Is it hard to study and train at the same time? When? No, not really. I manage to fit in my studies and my training. Usually I study in the early morning before school and I train in the afternoons and evenings after school. Reporter. Do you need a lot of equipment? Equipment means tools. When? If you take up the triathlon seriously, it gets more expensive than you think. You will need 4 pairs of trainers each year. Trainers are rubber boots and a good bike is going to cost a lot of money. Reporter. Besides triathlon, what other sports do you like? When? I like rock climbing. Reporter. Finally, what's great about your country? When? That's easy. Australia has wonderful weather. The sea near Sydney is always warm. It doesn't rain much. The sky is nearly always blue. It is a perfect country for sports. Well, in these lines, he advises that if a person wants to take up triathlon, he must start with swimming. It is an expensive job and one sportsman needs actually 4 pairs of trainers and each year, and a good bike is also costly, and at the end he says, and he rather praises his country for the good sport. So lesson is done. Come to next page Here, read the interview again and complete the information box. So I've already filled it. I'm going to read it. Name: Van Boyd, age 14 years, lives in Australia, Sydney, training 12 hours each week, competition Sydney School Championship, and hopes he wants to become a great triathlete. Come to question 4. Again, find the words and phrases in the interview that mean the following and write them in the given spaces. So we have to write the words which we have used in the text for these statements. Number 1, a person who does the triathlon. It is called triathlete. Getting better and better. We have used the word improving in the text. Third one, people who exercises regularly are athletes or fit. We can use 2 words because we have came across these 2 words in the text. Fourth one, a sports competition. Which sports competition we have read? It was Sydney School Championship. Second in the competition, runners up. Started doing a sport. It is practicing. Come to question 6. We have to complete the information box. I have already done, going to read it for you. Sports is swimming, and then we have to tell the distance and the advice. Okay. Number 1, swimming, and the distance is 1.5 kilometers. And if you like, start the race at the side or at the back. Try to swim in a straight line. Look around during the race. Now come to cycling. And the distance is 14 kilometers, and the advice is don't try to go fast at the beginning. Get used to moving your legs up and down. Drink lots of water during the race. Come to running. Distance is 10 kilometers. Take short, fast steps at the beginning. Keep drinking lots of water during the race. Run fast at the end of the race. Come to next page. Page 33. It is poem. I'm going to read it for you. Father William is young, old for his age. Now we are going to start the poem. You are old, Father William, the young man said, and your hair has become very white, and yet you always stand on your head. Do you think at your age it is right? Second stanza. In my youth, Father William replied to his son, I thought it would injure the brain, but now that I am perfectly sure I have none, why I do it again and again. Well, it is a poem in which a young man talks to Father William, who often stands on his head, that it is not a suitable age for gymnastic. Father William says that in his youth, he thought that it will injure his brain, but now he can do it again and again, and it has become his habit. Come to next stanza. You are old, said the boy, as I told you before, and have grown unbelievably fat, but you did a back somersault. Back somersault is rolling over of body in at the door. So what is the reason for that? In my youth, said the man, as he pulled on his socks, I decided to stay very fit, so I carry my pills that I keep in this box, and I find I don't worry a bit. Okay, in these lines, the Father William says that in his youth he decided to stay fit, and for this purpose he carries his pills in a box, so he feels no difficulty at back somersault. You are old, said the boy, and everyone knows that your eyes not as steady as ever. Steady means stable or fixed. But you balanced a fish on the end of your nose. What made you so awfully clever? I have answered 2 questions and that is enough, said his father. I have got enough cares. Cares means worries. Do you think I can listen all day to this stuff? Be off, or I will kick you downstairs. Well, in these lines, young man says that Father William, in these lines, Young man says to Father William that his eyes are not steady. Then how he can balance the fish on his nose? Father William annoys and asks him to go away, as he do not want to answer him anymore. So poem is done. Come to the question. You have to mark these sentences true or false. Number 1. Father William once thought that headstand were bad for the brain. It is true. Father William jokes that he has no brain in his head. It is true. Father William has lost a lot of weight. False, because he was very fat. The boy is surprised that Father William can still do gymnastics. It is true. Father William has no sense of balance. It is false. Father William agrees to answer all the boy's questions. False. So unit 6 is done. Thank you so much.